I'm Pierre.
And I'm Martin.
And we are the organizers behind the craziest summer event of the year, Champagne Wars.
Something's gonna catch our eye if we look closer, just get closer now.
The philosophy behind Champagne Wars was actually inspired from Sweden. When I first moved down to Malta, it made no sense to me that no one seemed to party during the day, especially with all the great sunshine that we have here. In Sweden it's all about having fun during the day in summer. So we started doing a few one-off small pool parties, seeing how people would react. And we got a really good feedback. So with that in mind, and also because our crowd tends to work a lot, they party very hard, but they can't go out every weekend. We wanted to create a big one-off event which would echo throughout Europe, and also not being only for the Maltese market, but actually people traveling in.
And to be able to do that, obviously, we need to create a concept which we can only carry out once a year, and it needs to be very much over the top. And that's what I think that we have managed to create.
The first Champagne Wars was actually an invite-only event in a big luxury villa. Mostly friends, around 300-400 people, just having a really good time by the pool, partying all day. And we knew instantly after that event that we were on the right track, because we got such a good, amazing feedback. So just a few days after, we started planning the next year. So the second Champagne Wars we were going to do, we knew had to be much bigger, much better in every sense. So we started looking for a new venue that would host up to around 1,000 people. And luckily for us, Café Del Mar, a super nice pool venue, had just opened up. So that's where we did the second one.
Something's gonna catch our eye if we look closer, just get closer now.
Café Del Mar really presented us with the opportunity to take Champagne Wars where we really felt that it needed to go, creating this really big, high-end international event. So when we created the concept for the second year, we did it together with one of the biggest DJs in the world, Dirty South, and we launched it with a big bang. And I think people were very surprised when we announced this concept, because it's so different. It's something that hasn't been attempted in Malta before and hasn't been done in Malta before, but we really believe strongly in the concept. And as it turned out, people really enjoyed it. Over 1,200 guests showed up, which was a completely sold out event. It was exactly where we wanted to land. And for these fantastic guests, we wanted to obviously create something really over the top in terms of happenings, which is what Champagne Wars is all about. We had dwarves running around in the venue in Luigi and Mario and Luigi costumes, for example, which was very much appreciated. I think people enjoyed that. We had mermaids swimming in the huge pool of Café Del Mar, and we even created a really big flyboard show together with the Malta Flyboard, which really was something different. I think it really solidified what Champagne Wars is all about, with the sort of unexpected type of happenings.
It was so much happening, so even though we had one of the best DJs in the world, what's actually people are talking about after is all the crazy happenings around.
And I think that's what people appreciate, not the generic things that you kind of see at most events. People appreciate things which are not expected. That I think is something very important for a successful event. And that's what Champagne Wars is all about. A crazy party deserves a crazy after party. That's why we decided to go to Vegas the day after Champagne Wars for the official after party, which we organized at Dre's in Las Vegas, one of the biggest nightclubs in the world, together with our good friend Ashley Ambrose, who is the VIP host of Dre's. We brought a bunch of guests with us from Champagne Wars, and we flew over together for this amazing week that we had together in Vegas, which was topped off with the official after party, which was actually promoted by Dre's as Champagne Wars.
Yeah, people were actually didn't really take us serious at first when we said we're doing the after party in Vegas. I even got comments like, "Where is this Vegas club in Malta? I never heard about it." No, we're going to Vegas for real. So we were a big group of friends, and yeah, we did Vegas in style, with wrapping it up with the big Champagne Wars after party. We already know that the third edition of Champagne Wars must be something spectacular. After the second one, people's expectations are already sky high, and we really want to deliver something extraordinary. So the only way to do that is simply to put in more time, more effort, more energy, really working hard to making the best possible event and make Champagne Wars 2015 the best Champagne Wars so far.
2014 was amazing. We had a great time, we hope you had too. But 2015 will bring things to a completely new level, and we can't wait to share this experience with you.
To the